Hi, I'm Virginia Postrel, the author of The Fabric of Civilization: How Textiles Made the World. This video is one of a series inspired by my book. I hope you'll check them all out and, of course, read the book. Enjoy! To introduce this video, I've come to Hollywood, to this Cannabis Before Prohibition mural. It's appropriate because this is a story of prohibition, of what my shirt and my bandana have in common with marijuana and marijuana dispensaries. Our story starts in the 1600s, around the time that British colonists were settling what would become the first United States of America. Back then, if you were European, all the textiles in your life, your clothes, your bed covers, your curtains, your cushions, your tablecloths, whatever, were probably solid colors, with maybe a few stripes, plaids, or checks thrown in. If you were rich, you could embroider them with silk thread. If you were very rich, you could buy brocades with patterns like flowers or pomegranates woven in through a laborious and very expensive process. But if you just wanted a floral summer dress, you were out of luck. In the 17th century, that changed. Merchants began bringing in cotton prints from India. They were amazing. The cloth itself was super soft, woven of incredibly finely spun threads. It was cool in the summer, it was easy to wash and dry, and it made great underwear, much better than linen. And then there were the colors. Reds and blues, purples and pinks, greens, yellows, and browns. They were gorgeous, and unlike the dyes Europeans were used to, they didn't fade in the wash. Europeans went crazy for calico. They turned the exotic prints into wall hangings and bed covers. They made them into ladies' dresses and gentlemen's robes for lounging at home. They turned them into easily laundered baby clothes. Everybody loved calico. Everybody, that is, except the silk industry, and the wool industry, and linen and hemp. They were aghast. They demanded protection from the calico competition. Save our jobs, they told their governments. And in many places, the governments listened. Some taxed the imported fabrics. Others banned them altogether. France went in for Prohibition supersize. It banned calico imports, but it didn't stop there. It banned all cotton imports, even of plain fabric with no design on it whatsoever. And it banned all prints, even prints made in France by French companies using French-made cloth. France's prohibition was not just anti-foreign. It was anti-cotton and anti-print. The silk industry was running the show. For 73 years, from 1686 to 1759, France treated calico essentially the way the United States treats cocaine. But the prohibition never worked. The demand was insatiable. If you were willing to take the risk, there was big money to be made in the calico trade. Smugglers brought in the forbidden cloth from countries like Switzerland and Holland, where it was legal. Or they got it from the French East India Company by lying about their intentions. They claimed they were going to take it to Africa to trade for slaves, which was okay with the French government. And then they'd turn around and sell it in France or its colonies, which was definitely not okay. The French government kept ratcheting up the penalties. Traffickers could be sentenced to years pulling oars in the Navy's galleys. The worst offenders were put to death. Ordinary people caught wearing calico could be arrested and imprisoned without trial. During a crackdown in 1730, a young Parisian was caught standing in the doorway of the wine shop where she worked. She was arrested for wearing a jacket with red flowers. Another woman was on her way to the butcher's when she was busted. Her crime, a jacket with brown flowers and red stripes. The fashion police peeked into windows. They saw people wearing calico in the privacy of their own homes and hauled them off to jail. But the French refused to give up their calicos. Aristocrats even wore them to the court of Versailles. Madame de Pompadour, King Louis XV's mistress, loved them. Calico prohibition turned countless French citizens into criminals. Enlightenment thinkers began to argue that the ban was not merely ineffectual, but unjust. One asked, will our descendants be able to believe that our nation was truly as enlightened and civilized as we now like to say, when they read that in the middle of the 18th century, a man in France was hanged for buying in Geneva at 22 sous what he was able to sell in Grenoble for 58? Prohibition was lifted in 1759 and replaced with a 25% tax on imported calicos. Finally free to buy cotton cloth from India, French entrepreneurs developed their own printing technology using copper plates. A new industry was born. Inspired by Chinese porcelain, they created the patterns we now call toile, like this t-shirt. So the next time you put on a flowered dress or a Hawaiian shirt, or buy printed pillowcases for your bed, or a printed face mask to keep from spreading your germs, remember the ingenious Indians who gave us calicos, and the defiant French who broke the law to wear them. For more textile stories, check out my other videos, and don't forget to read The Fabric of Civilization: How Textiles Made the World.